In this quick tutorial, I'm going to show you how you can use the patch tool to remove unwanted items from your image. Here I have a photo, and you can see it's a smart object. So I want to do some non-destructive editing to it. I do not want to actually change any of the pixels. I have these people in the background that I want to remove from my image. I'm going to create a new layer. I'm going to name my layer Healing, and I'm going to start off using my patch tool. I grab my patch tool, make sure in your options bar it's set to content aware and sample all layers. I'm going to start by zooming in so I can see what I'm doing, and I'm going to remove this foot here. Just make a quick selection. I take the bad part and I move it to a good part and it disappears. I'm now going to remove these men from my image, but I'm going to do them in pieces instead of trying to do it all at once because there's quite a lot going on in here. And if you need to, you can hold down the option of the Alt key, which allows you to make kind of straight edges. And you only want to heal and patch the bad bits. So try and minimize the good parts in your selection as much as you can. You don't want to over select. So again, just to do my straight lines, I'm just holding down the Alt or Option key. I'm going to come right back to the beginning, and I have my selection, and what I want to do is I want to click inside of my selection, and I'm going to drag the bad part that I want to get rid of over to a good part, and I'm getting it lined up there so it matches. I release the mouse, and it takes the good part and it fills it in the part that I wanted to remove. I'm going to do this again. And again, I just want to do some pieces. I'm not going to try and do the whole thing at once. And I'm going to slide this part over, make sure my pieces line up nicely. And when it looks pretty good, I'm going to release the mouse button. Now, you can definitely tell it's cloned because we have this little girl or this child in here that has a hat twice, but I'm going to crop my image when I'm all done and you won't even notice that. Now I need to come in here and finish off the stroller parts. Actually, I got a little piece right here I need to do before that. All right, that looks good. Now I'm going to do the stroller. And it doesn't have to be perfect. This is just a snapshot that's going to go in my scrapbook. And nobody's really going to be noticing the background all that much. So it depends on what your end result, what you're going to be using your picture for as to how perfect it needs to be. So I messed up there. I need to add to my selection. I'm going to hold down the Shift key, and I'm just going to draw around this little bit here to add that part to my selection. And just to make sure, it's kind of close here, make sure I've got all that in there. And then again, I'm just going to slide it over, make sure it's lined up, release the mouse. And then I just have this little tiny bit here, this little tiny blue bit to get rid of now. And I could come in here and clean this up and clean these little areas up if I need to. I can use some of my other tools. I'm still using the patch tool, but at this point, if I wanted it to be really perfect, I would come back in with the spot healing brush or the healing brush tool. But right now, all I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to crop this guy. And I'm going to rotate it as I crop it. I want that line up top to be straight. And I can just crop that little child out with the hat so that you won't even see the duplicate. And there's my final image using the patch tool.